As usual, starting off the week, which was, a little bit of a long weekend here with the stock market being closed yesterday, you would expect AMC to bounce as GameStop did bounce and the entire market did bounce. But no, we have just a flat day after, something that will naturally be, the flow of the trend as a whole regarding at the market share price. I mean, the market price action we saw today. Dow Jones up 2.15%, S&P, NASDAQ, everything is up big time. But you can see here that it doesn't make sense because the average volume, the volume at the beginning, the volume at the end, it doesn't sustain the price being down by 3 cents, especially on a day like this where pretty much everything is rebounding, especially cryptocurrencies. So just another, it's really ridiculous, folks. It's so ridiculous, all right? But what is really interesting is this kind of price action which does make absolutely no sense at all on how markets function. It's clearly because there is something else behind the scenes pinning this to this price. And I guess that's why we are hearing some news around some brokerage now exploring alternatives to payment for order flow. Now remember, we mentioned on this channel a couple of months ago, actually a couple of weeks ago, that the SEC was finally announcing that they are very, very, very intentional about banning payment for order flow. And as a result, we saw that companies such as Robinhood, which actually have 80 to 90% revenues based off of payment for order flow, the company stocks was tanking based on this news. Why? Because now it seems as if things are a little more serious than they used to be at the beginning of this year or at the 12 months ago. Now, Apex Clearing, just to tell you how serious things are trying to take a new direction here when it comes to this payment for order flow thing. Apex Clearing has been quietly building a marketplace for matching customer orders. The auction process could let stock exchanges compete directly with market makers like Citadel Securities and Virtue. This is according to CNBC. All right, so news came as of today, June 21st. So how is this very bullish for AMC stock and any other stock as far as retail trading and retail investing goes? Here's the thing, folks. We all know that they are packaging our orders and sending them through, payment for order flow, which ultimately is being tagged as retail. And because of that, they're pretty much parking our orders. That's why you can see screenshots from people still buying and holding AMC, buying the dip, holding the dip. AMC still being among the top 10, top 5, sometimes top 3 most bought stocks. When you look at the buy to sell ratio, the volume on Fidelity, Schwab, TD Ameritrade, it is still very, very in favor of the buys. But why the heck the price is not moving? Just simply because this whole payment for order flow through the raw pools is definitely our main hurdle, main obstacle. Now that Apex Clearing has been quietly working behind the scenes to work on an alternative to make sure we have not only other sources to actually make sure we get the best price ever, but those are going to compete with the market makers that we have now, such as Citadel and Virtue. So that means it will push all of these other market makers to actually finally bring everything under the light. Because if they don't, everything is going to flow to that other alternative, which, by the way, Apex Clearing has been quietly working. Why? Because they know that this SEC direction, the new direction the SEC wants to go with in terms of banning payment for order flow, seems to be once and for all, finally, somehow serious. Otherwise, they wouldn't be investing into this other system. Remember, payment for order flow is only still available in the US exchanges, nothing else in the entire markets, globally speaking. You won't find it in Europe, you won't find it in Australia, you won't find it in Asia. It's been banned years ago. The US markets are the only markets in the world to still allow payment for order flow. It speaks volume, folks. So, my thing is, the way I see this, well, Once we are getting closer to this new, marketplace for matching customer orders, especially retail from Apex Clearing being done, we will start to see some few things. Because remember, payment for order flow and retail orders being tagged has nothing to do solely and exclusively for stocks like AMC. It's for the entire retail space. So as soon as we have a little bit of flow, a little bit of volume going out of these dark pools, or a little bit of volume coming out of these market makers, definitely it will increase transparency. And transparency is good for us because finally our orders are going to hit the real markets. And that's how we can see the real price of AMC, which I believe, I wouldn't be surprised if, by now it should be around 1500, maybe more. But that is a fair assumption given the amount of people still holding shares, which, by the way, I don't even know how we're finding shares to buy, because I do believe more than 98% of people within retails are the one holding AMC. So yeah, something to monitor.